Creator, comment tu fais ça?
And we are back. Let me just start out by prefacing that my allergies are out to kill me, and I may be sneezing 50 million times in the video, but we're gonna get it done. So we're starting on Sunday, actually today. So I'll put the video out today so that you have it at least before the market opens, even for the East Coast folks that are watching videos. I've already kind of pre-marked the places on the chart already, kind of gone through and did my analysis so I can make it as quick as possible, because I know this, I like giving longer videos, but I just want to make sure that I am trying to stay under a certain time frame and not really killing the video with too much. So in the best effort of doing that, I just wanted to make sure that I kind of had everything, pre-marked so that they're not as nearly as long. So what we'll do is I guess before we get started, I am Ashley, and if you are an intraday, day or swing trader, my information will probably be the best for you. I think I said in the past that there are plenty of other traders that actually indulge in scalping, that you can actually find, or you're able to find on YouTube, so you can get some of that information in case that is that's your forte. So for me per se, we're swing day and intraday over here. So let's just go ahead and get started. Like I said, I kind of already set up the chart as I kind of wanted to see the chart for the week coming. I always tend to start on the weekly when we're starting a new week, or I'll start on the monthly and work my way up if we are starting on a new month. So just starting here with the weekly, and I use the weekly and somewhat of the daily for my direction determination. So as of right now, it looks like we're headed in an upward direction. I don't do too much. I just kind of use the weekly for my bias of direction along with the daily. So let's go to the daily and see what is going on with the daily. So on the daily, it looks like we're actually coming back down to test this area, see if it holds. And I've been told the more a support and resistance zone is tested, the less likely it is to be respected. So it could be a possibility where we do see a break, but it also may be a situation this week with AU where we see a lot of bouncing back and forth in this space of consolidation, and we may not see too much. We'll just have to actually probably end up watching to see if the news gives us more information so we can see exactly what's going to happen with the market, but it's a strong chance that we could see a little bit of consolidation back and forth. We'll just have to see what the price looks like when we start to get back to this area. This also could just simply be a retest of this area so the price can continue to move up in an upward motion. One thing I did want to kind of go over real quick with you and kind of show you that has been helpful for me, because I don't think that I've shown a lot of Confluence on this channel nearly as much as I show the trading portion. I think that part is very much important as well. Like I say, it is important, or you should at least have 3 confluences before you actually take your position, so you can be confident in the direction of the market. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use an indicator this time, and we're going to go moving average exponential. We're going to do 2 of those. Okay. On this one, this first one, this top one, we're going to leave it blue, and we're going to leave it at an 8. Okay. And the one, let's see, in the second one, we're going to actually change the color to red so we know what's going on. And then we're going to change the length on that one to a 14. There is a mathematical way of understanding the exponential moving average, just so that you have an understanding and you're not just simply using it as, oh, okay, well, the market's going up, or, oh, okay, the market is going down. I'm just going to be 100 with you. I don't know 100% exactly how that formula is calculated, but once I learn, I will be more than happy to show it to you. But for now, we'll just go ahead and use it as the up and the down, the up and the down. So the blue If the blue is over the red, then we're headed up. If the red is over the blue, then we're headed down. And what you're looking for is it's usually under price when both are usually under price when price is headed up. Both are over top of price. For example, it's over top of price when it's headed down. And I feel like this looks kind of funky. Maybe I'll have to, that's what I'm like, why does that look weird? Because it says 7. Let's go 14. I don't know why price. 14, my guy. Okay. There we go. Now that looks a little more accurate. I'm like, why is the blue over? Okay, so this is accurate. This is how it should look. So when price is headed down, you're going to see that the crossover is actually, it happens a lot faster with this than it would with an SMA. So an SMA can be a little slower. By the time you see the crossover, sometimes the crossover is happening right here when the move is already over with an SMA. But with an EMA, exponential moving average, you can see it happen right when price is actually doing it, a little sooner in the game, so you can actually get in for the move and collect some of those pips. So just keep in mind the coordinates on that are for the blue, you want it to be an 8, and then for the red, you want it to be a 14, or vice versa, whichever you see fit. But I feel like it looks that way. It looks best for me that way. So that's been helping me use something as a confluence. I have also used a Hakanashi in the past as confluence, and that's been super helpful for me as well. What the Hakanashi is it's gonna kind of rule out some of those more red candles, even if it's been a retest, and just give you exactly where the market is going. So if we're headed up, you see how it's kind of just all green. Same thing when we go down, it's just going to be all green and kind of rule out some of those little sparse ones. Like there's a couple, but for the most part, it's just going to give you mostly red if it's headed down, mostly green if it's headed up. So that's been a helpful confluence for me as well. And I've been using a lot of the Fibonacci retracement because that's been helping me to know exactly when to get in and to get out, or when to get out rather, of the trade, and we're planning to retest that. So again, I apologize for my snotty nose, but okay. So we're just gonna move forward. I want to go real quick to the 1 hour, just to kind of touch base on what that's going to look like. So let's see. Looks like we're coming down for a retest. Honestly, I want to see what price is gonna do when it gets back down to like closer to the major level that it was previously at, and then I want to see if price is going to exceed this little dotted line that I've set up here previously. So right now if we're using Confluence, and this is on the 1 hour, so I feel like you're going to get a stronger Confluence, or a stronger like a for sure, as close as possible. Of course, this is a probability game. We're just doing this to the best of our ability, but it's helpful when you have your confluences, and I feel like it's a little stronger when you go a little bit higher up in the game. So if you're a little higher up in the time frame, then I feel like that it's going to give you a little more stronger of a decision and direction. So I do believe we could see potentially a retest here, but again, I think it's a possibility we may see some consolidation before we actually see the push up. Moving over to EU, always remember, if you're using the Forex.com platform, change from mid-bid, change it to ask. Just going to give you the closest to where price is actually at, and you don't want it to stop you out and put your stop loss too close and all those things. So like I said before, we are kind of at an area right now. I'll go ahead and grab we're going to dot it out and get the perforated line one, and I like to change mine to orange. Okay, so right now what I'm looking to see is, and it looks kind of funky because it is directly on it. Let me just move it up. Okay, so I'm waiting to see what price is going to do when the market opens. We're kind of like I would say like at a mid. So like you have like your major bank levels, and then you have that mid space, that mid level where price could possibly reverse or just continue through and retest maybe even. But I'm waiting to see what's going to happen when we get to that area. I was able to collect. I actually, I opened up a couple positions last week on EU that were very profitable. I'm very excited. I also lost one that I wasn't sad about it. I know that it's just a part of the game. You have to kind of get a little bit of skin, you know, and know that you're going to win some and lose some. And as long as you're consistent with more of your wins than you are with your losses, then you can start to, you know, congratulate that consistency. But even if you aren't, just keep moving along. It'll eventually start to make sense to you. I know that when I first started, the market it didn't make any sense to me. So let's see. I'm waiting to see if we're going to see a consolidation, a little bit of consolidation when this goes up to retest, kind of like AU. Remember how I talked about previously? If AU and EU look the same, more than likely GU is probably going to be about the same. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Along with the news this week, shouldn't be too crazy because we're midweek. So we probably will have some news, but maybe nothing too crazy that will impact. And I would go up there and check it, but I'm already on like 10 minutes, so I want to try to keep the time at a decent time. So what I'm thinking is we could potentially see price moving kind of similar to AU, or we could see a breakthrough and then see it come up here to retest this area, hopefully a break and then a retest and then a continuation. So right now, let me go ahead and go to the 4 hour just to kind of confirm, because I'm seeing a little bit of consolidation. It would be a beautiful thing if we could put a stop loss just below here. I would probably not put it this close. This is too close. Probably put it around close to here just for a little bit of breathing room, and honestly maybe even here just for a little bit of extra safety, to see if price will come back down, retest, and then you can put a position in for the long, on the long side for the GU. So let's scoot over to let's see. Sorry, let's scoot over to GU. All right. So previously I already set up the levels so that I'm trying to make the video a little bit less. Usually try not to do too many, like 3 is usually my max if I'm going like that, so that I, you know, don't clutter the chart. I know that bank levels are a big thing, and it's easier to understand kind of what to look for on those bank levels. So I can also do a video and do just like strictly, you know, bank levels, if that's helpful. You let me know in the comments. Okay, so starting with the weekly, looks like we're headed to the upside. Looks really good. What I want to do is see, let's just jump to the daily. What I'm wanting to see is if price is going to, so this is actually really good. What we do want to see is what's happening right now. I want to see price get back down to here, and then once price gets to this level, if it does, for the retest, because sometimes price will just, that'll be the retest, that's it, and it'll take off without you. I'm hoping to see price get back down to here. I'll put my stop loss just below here, and then not short the market, but go long on the market at least until here. I won't set up a take profit. I will simply just watch to see what the market is going to do at this level, and then kind of go from there. Because previously, let's see if I can scoot back. Sorry, I know that's gross. Previously, the market kind of had a little bit of, you know, a little bit of static where you can kind of see where wicks were previously at. So I want to see what happens when we get here. If we're able to push through here, then I may even get in and scale in for a second position and set up a stop loss just maybe below here. This would be my box. Let me just do it so that you know what I'm talking about. So this would be my box. No, we don't want to place an order, not like we can anyway. Stop loss would be, I would say, just right below there. This would be my second position. I'd be waiting for it to break through, come back down for a retest, and I'd be getting myself into a position. Stop loss just below there. Next take profit would be just around here. So let me give you, sorry. Give you my dotted line just so that it's clear. So that would be my next go for take profit, but I will be watching also to see what's going to happen when price hits this kind of mid space too. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to move over to UJ and see what UJ's got going on. So I got, let's see, starting on the weekly, change it to the ask. Okay, so on the weekly, looks like we had a pretty decent rejection in this area. We may see some consolidation. Let me break it down. It does look like we're just headed in the long, but we're getting ready to, we've already seen, okay, so last week, last week, the last candle of last week, we see a little bit of a rejection from this area, which makes sense. All the even levels, or all the even numbers result to bank levels, and that's important. You want to keep an eye on what's happening on bank levels. So let's say here, you see that this is happening on a bank level. You see the price is rejecting on a bank level. If you see candles, especially like, this is a good example. I'm gonna zoom in real quick. Sorry. Even though it's small, we see this candle that's got this long wick, and this is on the daily. So we see this candle that's got this long wick, and it's rejecting from a bank level. Any kind of reaction, whether that be a triple, or like a double, you know what I'm saying, a head. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my words together. Evidently my allergies make me feel like I have a cold, and I'm foggy too. But if you're seeing something like a head and shoulders on a major bank level, you're seeing a shooting star on a major bank level, a doji. Well, dojis are a little like indecision-ish, so not as much. But when you see some of those more prevalent candlestick patterns, a Romney, stuff like that on a major bank level, that you can use as Confluence too, and it holds a lot stronger than just kind of whatever, especially on a higher time frame. So honestly, because we're seeing some rejection here, I'm going to be waiting to see what price is going to do when it gets here, because it's going to get there. I mean, granted, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I feel like price is going to head back up before it decides it wants to come back down, unless there's some type of crazy ass news that comes out, you know, that changes its direction. Then I'll be waiting to see what price is going to do when it gets here. I won't be making any, taking any positions on UJ until I can see what happens there. But I'm also seeing like what looks like a small rejection there too. So let's jump down to the 4 hour. So this is even starting kind of on the mid, starting to create its own little level. We'll just have to see if price kind of hits us with like a little bit of back and forth. But I do feel like we could see price get back up here, and then we'll just be waiting to see what happens. In my opinion, I won't be making or taking any positions here. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that kind of going over the moving average, exponential, was a little bit helpful for some Confluence. And like I said, in the future, I can definitely do more videos when it comes down to Confluence, because you're going to actually need that to help you be confident in the trade that you make. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys have a kick-ass trading week. Get after it.